Have you ever been misjudged, overlooked, or even set up for a lifetime of failure, only to stand tall when everyone expected you to crumble? Right now, as you sit there, they are whispering, questioning, maybe even silently panicking. How is it that you're still standing amidst the wreckage, unshaken, unafraid, and unapologetically alive? Think about that for a moment. The world has a way of predicting outcomes, of assigning roles, of writing scripts where you are supposed to fold, vanish, or stay small. And yet here you are, defying every expectation they held, thriving in the exact space they believed would bury you. Picture it: the betrayals you endured, the backstabs you never saw coming, the pressures designed to break you. They watched, waited, and perhaps even laughed at the idea of your endurance. Psychologists might tell you that most people, when faced with humiliation or profound challenge, retreat. They go quiet. They hide. They shrink themselves to fit into spaces that feel safe. But you did the unthinkable. You refused the cloak of invisibility. You didn't crawl under the rug. You didn't ask for permission to exist. You didn't explain yourself. You simply showed up, fully present, fully alive, fully visible. And that defiance of expectation, it unsettles them. It shocks them, because the human mind is wired to categorize, to predict, to control outcomes, but you broke the rules. Think about it from their perspective. They had counted on your retreat. They had projected weakness onto you, believing that the weight of their schemes, their gossip, their manipulation, or their mockery would finally make you small. They were convinced you would disappear quietly, blend into the shadows, or perhaps grovel for understanding. But you didn't. You refused the narrative they wrote. Your survival isn't subtle, it's a silent declaration, a confrontation without a word. Each step you take in plain sight, each breath you draw in a world that expected your absence, dismantles the calculations they made about you. This is where the tension lives. They predicted your collapse. They built scenarios in their minds where you would fold, where your confidence would crack, where your spirit would quietly bend under pressure. And now, as they watch you exist fully upright, unbroken, they are forced to confront a reality they cannot control. Your resilience isn't borrowed, your strength isn't temporary, and your presence isn't negotiable. It's a mirror they can't look away from, and every glance reflects the truth they hope to hide. That you are not what they expected, and they have no power over your reality. And here's the twist that makes it all the more intoxicating. The surprise isn't just that you survived. The shock comes from the fact that you did it on your terms, on your timeline, without excuses, without explanations, without bows or apologies. You've shown the world that survival isn't about avoidance, it's about presence. And presence, when fully owned, is unstoppable. So ask yourself and lean in, because this is the doorway to everything that follows. What is it about your presence, your refusal to hide, your audacious refusal to vanish, that rattles people so profoundly? Why does simply standing, existing, and breathing in your truth create ripples they cannot control? That chosen one is the question we are about to unravel. And as we move forward, you'll see not just the power you hold, but how every obstacle, every betrayal, every attempt to erase you has become the very fuel that illuminates your authority, your wisdom, and your undeniable influence. Now that you've seen the power of simply standing, it's time to delve deeper into the force that makes you unshakable, your internal strength. This is the kind of strength that doesn't shout or seek validation. It's resilience that bends without breaking integrity, that holds firm when the world tries to push you off course, and self-mastery that allows you to move through chaos with calm precision. You don't need anyone's approval because your authority comes from within. Every step you take, every choice you make is rooted in a clarity that cannot be bought, borrowed, or borrowed from applause. Imagine the countless times others tried to test you, misjudge you, or underestimate what you could endure. There were moments when whispers, backhanded comments, or even subtle sabotage were meant to trip you up, yet you navigated through effortlessly. While they were focused on diminishing your presence, you were quietly building armor layer by layer of wisdom, patience, and inner fortitude. They thought they were crafting your limits, but all they did was reveal the depth of your capacity. And each time, without ever boasting or proving yourself, you turned their underestimation into a quiet triumph. This is where the mirror effect comes into play. People often judge others through the lens of their own weaknesses. The ones who thought you would falter saw your resilience, and in that reflection confronted their own limits. They noticed their compromises, their shortcuts, their fear of standing fully in the light. Your presence, steady, calm, unwavering, forced them to see what they themselves had avoided for years. And for you, there's a profound truth. The way they see themselves in you is not a threat to your power, it's evidence of it. Your strength elevates not just yourself, but everyone who witnesses it. It reveals the potential within others and quietly demands they step into it. Think about influence in this light. It's not about being loud, dramatic, or visible on every platform. True influence often lives in silence. Your calm, measured presence carries weight because it operates on substance, not spectacle. People may not immediately acknowledge it, but they feel it. Conversations shift when you enter a room. Decisions are reconsidered. Energy flows differently. And they can't pinpoint why, they just know something has changed. This is the essence of quiet authority. It is impossible to ignore. Because it does not rely on noise, it relies on being fully and unapologetically yourself. Now bring this into your daily life. In the workplace, others will miscalculate you if they underestimate your patience, clarity, and judgment. In your family, they will notice how your calm decisiveness diffuses tension even if no one admits it. Within your community, your consistent actions rather than your words establish credibility and respect that no campaign or PR effort could achieve. You are a living example of what it means to lead with presence, and every interaction becomes a lesson in integrity and self-mastery for those around you. This internal power is also a compass through life's unpredictable storms. While others are scrambling, reacting, and seeking validation, you navigate from a place of self-possession. Challenges that once seemed insurmountable become opportunities to exercise judgment, resilience, and patience. They are no longer obstacles designed to defeat you. They are tools crafted to refine you, to forge the next version of yourself. And this is where your influence multiplies. By existing fully in your truth, you transform the energy around you without needing to control, manipulate, or compete. When you begin to live this way, chosen one, life itself becomes a mirror. Each challenge, each interaction, each moment of subtle tension reflects back your growth, your integrity, and your quiet authority. You will notice that what once intimidated or frustrated you now passes by without effect. And others? They are forced to confront the contrast between your grounded strength and their own uncertainty. It is not vanity, it is undeniable presence. It is the kind of influence that persists long after you leave the room, long after a conversation ends, long after any fleeting recognition fades. And so as we prepare to explore the next layer, remember this. When you live in alignment with your internal strength, challenges are no longer walls to climb. They are instruments of your transformation. They shape you, sharpen you, and reveal to the world the depth of your power. The trials that once loomed over you are now the very tools that sculpt the version of you capable of thriving anywhere in any circumstance. So ask yourself, if this is your foundation, how will you now wield it? How will you let your resilience, integrity, and self-mastery guide you toward the influence you were always meant to carry? Because the truth is, when you understand this, chosen one, the next stage of your journey isn't about surviving. It's about harnessing your inner power to shape the world around you. Now that you understand the depth of your internal strength, it's time to explore the most potent strategy for turning that power into influence, living openly, visibly, and unapologetically. Visibility is not vanity. It is a deliberate act of authority. The world expects you to shrink, to hide, to navigate the storms of life from the shadows. They anticipate your retreat, assuming that trials, betrayals, and the weight of expectation will force you to disappear. But when you refuse to vanish, when you step fully into the light without hesitation, something remarkable happens. The very people who sought to diminish you are rendered powerless. Your presence becomes a silent declaration of sovereignty, a statement that you are untouchable, not because of noise or aggression, but because you refuse to bend to anyone's expectations. Consider this: every hardship you have endured, the betrayals you couldn't anticipate, the failures that should have crushed your spirit. The moments when the world seemed intent on writing your story for you has functioned as camouflage. Pain, when wielded with awareness, becomes both shield and springboard. Each challenge, each heartbreak, each obstacle you survived was secretly fortifying you, layering resilience, wisdom, and patience beneath what appeared to others as vulnerability. What they saw as a weakness was actually the armor that protected your potential, the crucible in which your unshakable self was forged. Think back to the moments when others expected you to fold. Perhaps colleagues sought to undermine your credibility, friends betrayed your trust, or circumstances seemed designed to suffocate your growth. Each time you navigated through the storm, not by hiding but by standing tall, you moved through adversity with clarity, patience, and quiet confidence. And in doing so, you exposed the limits of those who doubted you. They expected surrender, but all they witnessed was your emergence. Their calculations about you, their predictions that you would shrink, were shattered simply by your refusal to yield. Visibility became your leverage, your silent power, and your unspoken message: I am here. I endure. I persist. Stories of triumph born from adversity are powerful, not because of dramatic displays, but because of the subtle mastery embedded in them. Picture this: you were cornered, besieged by forces that wished to see you fail, and yet you moved with grace, patience, and integrity. The very people who tried to shape your downfall were exposed in their own limitations. They revealed their insecurities, their jealousy, their reliance on manipulation. And all of this occurred without a single accusation from you, without a word of confrontation. Your endurance spoke volumes, and your visibility rendered their schemes impotent. This is the lesson for you, chosen one. Life will never be free of challenge. You cannot avoid betrayal, hardship, or discomfort. But each trial can be transformed into a tool for growth. Instead of shrinking from difficulty, you can use it to build your internal framework: resilience, clarity, discipline, and authority. Pain is not an enemy to fear. It is a teacher, a secret ally, preparing you for the influence you are destined to wield. Every obstacle you encounter becomes a rehearsal for the way you move through life with power and presence. Your trials are the unseen architecture of your future strength. And here's the critical point: your power is amplified by your visibility. It is not simply that you survive, it is that your survival is undeniable, observable, and impossible to ignore. When you face adversity in the open, you create a ripple effect that reshapes perception. Those around you, colleagues, community members, even adversaries, are forced to recalibrate. They cannot manipulate, underestimate, or dismiss what is plainly visible. Your life becomes a living lesson in endurance and authenticity. This is the kind of influence that cannot be faked, cannot be purchased, and cannot be silenced. And so, as you step fully into this practice of visible resilience, remember this: the storms of life are not barriers, they are instruments of preparation. The betrayals, setbacks, and hardships you endure are not punishments. They are the sculpting forces that refine your strength and sharpen your authority. By embracing visibility, by refusing to retreat or hide, you convert every challenge into an opportunity for mastery, which leads to the threshold of the next insight. When you stand fully, openly, and unshaken, you are not merely surviving. You are creating a presence and influence, a silent force that others cannot ignore and cannot understand fully. It is the kind of impact that transcends words and defies calculation. And it is exactly this foundation, the combination of internal mastery and fearless visibility, that allows you to move forward into the next level of your journey, where challenges no longer constrain you, but instead become the instruments of your highest self. As you continue to stand in your full presence, something extraordinary happens around you, an invisible ripple that touches everyone in your orbit. This is the mirror effect, the subtle but undeniable impact that your integrity, resilience, and calm authority create in the lives of others. You don't have to speak, shout, or prove anything. Simply by existing in alignment with your values, you force those around you to confront truths about themselves they have long avoided. Your presence becomes a mirror reflecting not just what you are, but what others are, or more importantly, what they have chosen not to be. This effect is subtle yet potent. People begin to notice almost instinctively that something about you does not conform to their expectations or to the compromises they have made in their own lives. Some feel admiration, some unease, and some an almost involuntary envy. Your success, your poise, and your unwavering integrity spark a complex emotional response. They respect what you have built, fear the contrast it exposes, and perhaps even resent the way your presence lays bare their own shortcuts and limitations. This is the power of quiet influence. It doesn't require confrontation, argument, or dominance. Instead, it operates through the clarity of your example, the authenticity of your actions, and the consistency of your character. Consider how this manifests in daily life. At work, your unwavering commitment to your principles may reveal colleagues' own inconsistencies or their reliance on superficial strategies. Within your family, your calm decisiveness may highlight others' impulsiveness, insecurities, or dependency on validation. In your community, the way you navigate challenges with composure and clarity exposes the boundaries others have yet to establish, or the courage they have yet to claim. Without ever calling attention to these truths, you illuminate them through your lived example. This mirror effect is not designed to punish or shame. Rather, it is an instrument of empowerment. Those who witness it are given a choice to feel threatened or to step into the reflection as inspiration. Your role is not to teach them directly nor to confront them aggressively. Your responsibility is simply to be fully visible, fully present, and fully aligned with your values. And in doing so, you demonstrate an important lesson. True influence does not rely on force, argument, or ego. It flows naturally from the consistency and authenticity of your presence. Let's bring this closer to home. When someone tries to manipulate, deceive, or control the narrative around you, their methods often crumble in your presence. They are forced to reveal their limitations, their fears, and their strategies. For example, a colleague who tries to undermine your credibility may find themselves exposed through your quiet confidence. A friend who attempts to sway perception with gossip will falter when confronted by your consistent integrity. Even those who aim to provoke a reaction may find themselves unable to do so because your influence is not reactive. It is rooted in your unshakable internal authority. And the beauty of this mirror effect is that it teaches you as much as it teaches them. As you observe how others respond to your presence, you gain clarity about relationships, motivations, and power dynamics. You learn to navigate the world not by reacting to every attempt to control or diminish you, but by maintaining alignment with your own truth. You understand that the impact you have is measured not in applause or acknowledgement, but in the subtle shifts in energy, perception, and behavior that occur simply because you exist authentically in your own power. This is the foundation of the final stage. We will explore the ability to turn your visibility and influence into a force that creates lasting value, inspires growth, and strengthens your own mastery of life. By embracing the mirror effect, you realize that every interaction, every challenge, and every observation is an opportunity to reinforce the truth of who you are. And from this understanding comes the transition to the ultimate lesson: how to integrate your strength, presence, and influence into a life that is purposeful, impactful, and wholly aligned with your highest self. As we reach the conclusion of this journey, take a moment to truly recognize the power you have cultivated. Every trial you endured, every betrayal you faced, every pressure you were meant to collapse under, none of it was wasted. Each challenge served as a secret workshop, forging resilience, sharpening clarity, and reinforcing integrity. What might have been intended to break you instead built the foundation for your unshakable inner strength. You have learned that true survival is not simply about enduring adversity. It is about transforming every obstacle into the very tools of your empowerment. Every hardship, every difficult moment, every challenge you navigated without compromise has contributed to a presence that is undeniable, influential, and profoundly authentic. The central lesson is this: living in alignment with your true self creates an authority that no external force can negate. You do not require validation, applause, or acknowledgement from anyone else. Approval does not define you. Your worth, your influence, and your capacity to impact others are already evident in the way you stand upright, steadfast, and uncompromised. Each decision, every act of integrity, every calm response in the face of pressure demonstrates power without the need for noise. This is the quiet authority of someone who has mastered themselves, someone who exists fully in their truth, and someone who refuses to allow the opinions or manipulations of others to dictate their path. The lessons extend further. The pressures, betrayals, and obstacles in your life are not meant to punish, they are opportunities. Each challenge is a mirror reflecting your growth, your strength, and the clarity you have cultivated. When you respond with patience, observation, and steadfastness, you transform trials into instruments of empowerment. Silence, composure, and integrity are not signs of weakness, they are deliberate strategies, proof that mastery lies in control, not reaction. By refusing to shrink, by holding fast to your principles, you demonstrate to yourself and the world that resilience is cultivated through presence, not performance. Your life becomes evidence that adversity, instead of limiting you, is shaping you into a force that others cannot ignore. Now consider your place within the community of chosen ones. You are not alone. There is a network of individuals who, like you, have refused to hide, have embraced visibility, and have cultivated integrity and resilience. Together, you form a living testament to the power of presence, the influence of quiet authority, and the transformative potential of authenticity. You are a beacon for those still finding their path, showing them that it is possible to navigate life fully, courageously, and without compromise. You are a chosen one. Stand tall. Shine brightly. Allow your influence to radiate far beyond yourself, inspiring others simply through your example. Every choice you make from this moment forward carries the weight of your mastery. Every challenge is an opportunity to reaffirm your principles. Every criticism is a chance to reinforce your integrity. This awareness is not pride, it is clarity. It is empowerment. It is the map by which you navigate a world that often misunderstands true strength. Your influence, your authority, and your presence are measured not in applause or recognition, but in the subtle, lasting shifts in perception, energy, and behavior that occur simply because you exist authentically in your power. Before we part ways, take this step with me. Like this video, share your experiences in the comments, and subscribe to Chosen and Rising. Your participation strengthens not only your own growth, but also contributes to a community of individuals committed to living fully, rising above circumstance, and claiming the full measure of their inner power. Every insight, every shared story, every reflection is a ripple that allows others to step into their light and recognize their own potential. Finally, remember, this empowerment is cultivated, not given. Self-mastery is practiced, not inherited. Your journey proves that adversity, challenge, and struggle can be transformed into enduring strength and influence. Stand tall, remain visible, Carry forward the lessons you have learned. Your presence is your authority is your gift, and your gift has the power to illuminate the path not only for yourself, but for all who witness it. Thank you for stepping into your light. Continue to rise, continue to influence, and continue to be the chosen one who inspires, empowers, and transforms, simply by being fully yourself.